Well, this September 29th, as every year, we celebrate the feast of St. Michael the Archangel. Although it's trumped liturgically today by the Sunday in Ordinary Time, still, as the patron of the diocese, we celebrate St. Michael with a particular kind of festivity today. Uh, and on to mark the occasion, the Archbishop has put out a letter that I'd certainly commend to anyone to read if you're looking for some good spiritual reading this afternoon. But in his letter, the Archbishop raises a couple of thoughts, some reflections on the name and the character of Michael, beginning, of course, with the name. As many people already know, the name Michael is a Hebrew name. It comes from the Hebrew question, or it is the Hebrew question: who is like God? Literally, what the name means is who is like God. And as the Archbishop says, it kind of comes to us as a sort of a battle cry. The moment that that marks the victory of Michael over Satan, after Satan had tried to kind of set himself up as someone equal to God, as somebody who operated at his level, taking into himself or assuming for himself more power, authority, more dignity than he really merited. Um, and so you have, in a sense, in this battle cry, this almost a rhetorical question, something that isn't meant to be answered by anything but silence, where he says, "Who is like God?" And the fact that nobody can answer with anything, nobody can posit anything that is like God, really drives home that point that God is greater, the Creator is greater than any of his creatures. Archbishop Leo, though, also observes in his letter that contained within this name, contained within this question, there's kind of an implied process of discernment. Uh, in other words, the person who asks a question like this, who is like God, has looked through the created order, has recognized the goodness of the created order, certainly, but then has also seen and recognized God and who God is in all his glory, and has recognized that God, that the Creator, is greater than all of these things, even kind of in the face of these creatures, these lesser realities that sometimes kind of set themselves up in our lives, present themselves to us as being more important than they really are. It is, I think, uh, a good thing for us, perhaps as the people of God within the Archdiocese of Toronto, in a particular way, to recognize that charism, that character that we see in Saint Michael, is one that would very appropriately mark our own lives. Perhaps we could say, in the same way that we might hope for a diocese that has Saint Francis of Assisi as its patron, to kind of share in his own charism, Saint Francis's charism of evangelical zeal, of poverty, of concern for the poor, and so on, or a diocese with Saint Thomas Aquinas to be marked by a great love of theology and of the study of God, perhaps having very strong academic or catechetical programs or flavors to its institutions. So too for us here in the Archdiocese of Toronto, and perhaps especially for us, marked as this city of Toronto is by so many influences from all around the world. In a sense, we really do see reflected in this city an enormous variety of people and cultures, of practices, of many good things that have come to us from various parts of the world. Even looking through all of these things, we recognize that there is nothing like God in all of it, and that none of these things, that any of the different kind of peoples that make up the city, really none of these things that we embrace, that we value very highly, perhaps, is equivalent or is on the same level to the role that God must play in our life. And so we pray today in a particular way to Saint Michael the Archangel for the people of God throughout the city here, that we share in the same kind of charism, in the manner in which we live our lives. Perhaps we allow this name, this question, to kind of reverberate through our souls, certainly through our love of God, our love of neighbor, through our works of generosity, through our commitment to prayer, Perhaps, we can say, especially though, through our pursuit of everything that leads people closer to God, through the pursuit of everything that glorifies God, and our very firm rejection of everything that would set itself up in God's place in our lives. And so we pray today for the intercession of Saint Michael, asking him to bless and to protect the diocese, to bless the diocese with his presence, to protect us from all the evils and temptations that might seek a place in our lives, and pray that through his intercession in our own lives, we can carry this kind of same character, the same question, asking by the way we live our lives, who is like God?